Hello, Divine Sunshiners. Stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago. Hello and welcome. This is Divine Unisouls 11. I am your reader or advisor, Divine Sunshine. I wanted to come down here. We got the strawberry moon, which is happening today in Sagittarius. And so I usually like to hit with the moons and doing those things. And so as I look at my cheat sheet, I forgot about that. With the Sagittarius moon, we have the influence of Sagittarius. We know they're really optimistic. And Sagittarius is casual, direct, enthusiastic, far-seeing, friendly, gregarious, honest, humorous, idealistic, loyal, outspoken, philosophical, restless, talkative, a traveler. The shadow of it is exaggerating, irresponsible, and tactless. As we are going on right now, I feel as if with these energies, I would say the theme of Dora the Explorer. And I'll say this because I think now some of us are feeling in several areas, especially when we're talking about the mission. Some of us are ready to actually go forth and really explore more about the mission that we're on, some purpose of some things that might have gotten lost, maybe some things that have been introduced to you earlier in life that you say, hey, I wanted to do that. What happened to that dream about me having my own B&B? What happened to that dream of me having my own community center? What happened to that dream of me having my own store or having an actual brick and mortar where I would have my crystals and this and this and that? What happened to me creating that fashion blog? What happened to me? So all of those things that we have been saying we were doing, we're getting that nudge through spirit to saying the time is now. And we're going to explore to do that. I think also from us, we are again, and from exploring, there's a lot of questioning about what things can I explore more in love, in the area of love. Can I explore more about how I love myself? Can I explore more about the relationships that I have with other people? Can I explore more about maybe if, again, I'm not getting the answers that I'm seeking in the twin flame dynamic, do I need to go and explore and see about outwardly, about maybe having other experiences that I can bring to the connection that might help me to get to know and explore myself in the area of love, of loving myself, or how I even intimacy and interact with others. There is one. However, the thing that jumped off when they talk about exaggerating, we want to make sure that we are staying very grounded. We have a tendency, again, about maybe things of the past, or maybe ego, or maybe even hurts that might have us a tendency to over exaggerate about what the situation truly is, the illusion of it. So there's a little bit about illusionment about that, especially about the optimism of maybe saying, yeah, let's try doing X, Y, and Z. I know this the other day, it was something that I wanted to explore, and I was like, wait a second, you know what, I gotta really see, where is this coming from? Is this truly coming from the ego saying, yeah, let's do this? I'm learning how to kind of sense that. There go like friends. To now saying, you know, to get grounded, let's go back and revisit that idea again. Okay, and let's really explore and go through this step by step by step, and saying, okay, if I actually go through this, what's going to happen down the line? You know, let's say, for instance, if again I was like, it wasn't that, because I really kind of don't want to share about what it was, but it's like it was something that I actually had wanted, and I was saying maybe I should go back and really revisit about maybe trying it. And before, I remember the reason why I turned it down was because it had a lot of things that were missing. And you know, now I'm looking back and say, well, maybe I could have did this with that, and maybe I could have changed this, and maybe I could have made it work. And you know, after I thought about it, I said, okay, now let's go back and let's piece by piece break this down and really see, can this actually work? And by the time I looked at it again, I was like, okay, this, no, I was right to turn it down. That's not going to work. So again, that's again with the underneath the optimism of the Sagittarius influence of the full moon, you know, really looking down into the meat and potatoes about like, yes, let's do this, and maybe look at it, revisit and say, okay, let's really look at every component. Let's turn over every stone to really truly see, is this something that we should say a hellified yes to, or we should really be anchored into with that. And I know right now I feel like, again, we feel very outspoken, our speech about things that we want to actually do. I feel, to me, our words are kind of really coming together, especially about is something that we really want to manifest, or our dream, and it's becoming very detailed. Before it might have been a little fuzzy, but I believe that beforehand these things are coming more into fruition than ever before. And this is where we are right now. We're becoming more direct. And I know that's Sagittarius sign, you know, they have Archer, have also horse. So again, horse also represents freedom. Wanting is freedom, but also understanding that, again, we have the arrow, which is actually pointing and having a target. I think beforehand we wanted this freedom, and we were kind of haphazard. It was just like all over the place, just chaos. However, again, we understand that we got to bring it together, and we're now moving forward just like a arrow. Some of us had to pull back from the situation to really get a full scope of what is going on, so we can really be able to move forward. And that's kind of what's been happening with all of those eclipses and all of those kind of energies that we had prior to, which was, again, we were being pulled back, and it's like, okay, it don't look like I'm getting closer to my goal. It doesn't seem like I'm getting anywhere near where I said I wanted to. What's going on here? And you know, that's something that you have to remember, again, a lot of times when, and I've had several people tell me, and friends as well, that a lot of times when you're getting propelled back, you're getting ready to go be shot forward. It's also like one time I remember psychic told me about that. You know, sometimes it seems like even when things are not coming together, rather it is with your counterpart, or about you actually getting the actual thing that you want to actually manifest, you have to remember it's almost just like, again, like when you're walking, you take one foot off of the ground, and to get that forward moving, you put the foot back on the ground. So at one point you got to kind of leave, but then get back grounded into the very thing in order to have forward movement when you're walking up and down, away from it, back on it, away from it, back on it. And so, but we're still making steady footprints to go forward in the direction that we need to actually go. And so again, that causes kind of like an internet bark like that to me. Always remind me about that causes a conflict between the two energies that's going on with you, the yin and the yang, or the good and evil, the shadow and the light. Really saying, you know, are we going in the right direction right now? Because I can't see it. And this is where we are, because a lot of things that's going on with us, there's this voidness. But with us having this full moon, like they said, it's very good to bring in the intentionality of the fullness and to ride on, especially working with that full moon energies as well. I'm trying to see on the cheat sheet that I see anything else friendly. We're going to find ourselves doing a lot of connections during this time, a lot of reaching out and wanting to work with others. We're going to see also friends might be feeling more so connected to us, because there's a thing of wanting to be able to share, to link. Sharing is caring. And it's something that's being on with that. And so again, some of us are learning also through this process about the intimacy and how that we need to, in order to grow for that, in order to explore and love and see about maybe some old relationships maybe we have cut off, or maybe some relationships that we've seen, again, that we need to maybe be a little bit open, but we close the door, say, I leave the door open, like the song, I leave the door open, I leave the door open. When you leave the door open, You know, you like, there it is, it's open. And it's like, no, that's not wide enough. You might even find yourself opening it up much wider now and saying, okay, now it's okay to love. Because again, through the energies that we are learning again and kind of getting rid of those wounds or those past hurts again, is now we're getting to the point, in order for us to pack light and to really get into this next dimension, that we're understanding that some of that stuff from the past we've got to kind of get over and we've got to get rid of as well. So this is what the Sagittarius move. Some of us, again, I see humor here. Sagittarius has a very good sense of humor, very witty about it. It really, to me, when I look at that, is something saying, look at the lighter side, look at the softer side of Sears, look at the things while you're going through these lessons, always looking for the silver lining. That's the optimism that Sagittarius brings. You know, these life lessons that come along. See about what kind of ways in which you're doing the work, or these things that happen to you, these hard lessons or things like that, they can be able to help you to be able to see about what can I make light of, what can I make fun of, how can I make this fun in the process. And I found myself doing a lot of that, even myself, with the things like, okay, I see that, now what's the lighter? Seeing what things I can laugh at, even be able to laugh at myself more too as well. Far seeing, a lot of visionaries too as well. And I already said about pulling the arrow, Gargarius, again, really going big, really gargantuan, really going big. It's like, to me, I'm hearing them saying, go hard or go home. It's one thing. It's like this time they got a notification on my watch. It's like, to me, it's go all in. I think and that to me is coming in on the missions, really going all in on it, like putting all chips. I'm seeing somebody sitting at Las Vegas with the chips there, is that blackjack, and saying, I'm putting it all in. I'm putting everything, bet on black 13. I'm putting it all on, you know, number 21. You know, I'm putting it all on this. To be able to create that, interesting, I say 13, create that rebirth, to create that new harmonizing, a new activity as well. From ending something to know that we got to begin something. And so this is where we are on that, of understanding that. Where we got to watch is, again, being irresponsible, making sure the choices, like I told you before, being very centered into that, and making sure that you are using tact. To me, it means being very skillful in whatever things that you want to be. This Dora, let me write it down because I know I will forget, because I was just like, what did I say I was going to call this? Dora the Explorer. Yeah. Well, I forget, like, what was the title of this? So we're all feeling like that. We want to be Dora the Explorer and exploring things. Let's do it with tact. They're showing me a compass. They're showing me, like, with a map, really being able to specifically know what's your true north. That means, again, where your spirit and your heart really truly wants to lead, as far as who you truly are, and not getting out there and trying to make yourself to be, again, over exaggerated and be something that you're not. It's like, really, this time I'm doing this from you now. Have learned all the lessons up until now, when some of us have been on this journey for a long time, and not even if you have not been on the journey right now, if you found this lets me know that you have been doing a lot of self-work, a lot of shadow work, to kind of, again, to change, to evolve, and to shift into a new creature, or a new version of yourself, which is the greatest version of yourself. That, again, you understand that right now where you are, you've got to be more strategic. It can't be very haphazard. It can't be very willy-nilly about how you're coming about where you're going at this point. So I'm going to ask, I think that's it on that channel message is the opening for that. So I'm going to go into and ask in spirit about what does it with the Sagittarius moon, what is the energies that it wants us to do, because I think, again, with some of us, clear, we want to explore, but it's like, you know, where are we going? What is going on with this energy? Because I think in some ways there is some not knowingness. Okay. So as we are, and I'm looking at this, so you can be able to become the angel of love. Like I say about this love, wanting to the things. So right now, what it is asking us is again, as us in our divine masculine energies, about how we're going about showing up in the world, standing in the authorities. It wants us to be more hyper focused in on as far as getting crystal clear as to where we're going. And to me, when I'm looking at this target and I'm seeing back in the back this foundation, we got a 4 here to me, which represents again being again foundational, being grounded, which to me has got 4s remind me of the twin flames, the 11-11, which means to be very again balanced. 6 represents to me also again about in love, which again they say about becoming the angel of love, and together is 10. So being willingness to kind of land again to say scrap this with everything I knew before, I forget it. I'm gonna start off with a clean slate and start all the way brand new all over again. This is where we are, because again I'm looking at this plumage here. To me, this is like an honor. It's like I took the feather from the crow, and to me crow is the one, is a symbol to me in which you're doing a lot of dark thinking and overthinking. That's that ruminating, thinking. I know K Moon was talking about that you had the nexus, I think, am I saying it right, influence of one of the planets, which would cause you to learn through your ruminating a lot, because again when you're doing all that overthinking and keep on revisiting the same thing over again, your spirit is really actually trying to say, hey, look at this, you keep on. And I remember when I took psychology classes too as well, they're saying that a lot of times when your client comes and they keep on bringing you back to that same idea or that same concept again, that's what they want you to really walk away with about them, or this is what they really want to drive home their point about what's going on with them. This is the same thing. So if it keeps on, you keep ruminating over the same thought or the same conversation about the same thing, person, place, thing. This is again, but to me, when you got a feather in your cap, that means now I'm wearing it as decoration. I use it as like a thing of I've conquered this or I've honored this, and maybe as a reminder, because sometimes I know I used to kind of collect things. This is a reminder of this person, you know, like a lot of times I'll take things from my mom and jewelry, like if I'm going someplace and I'm a little nervous about that, and I always say I bring something that my mom had, or if it's something like my dad had, I'll wear it with me and take it with me. To me, this is a reminder of having that feather, reminds me of that, of saying this is how I used to be, or this is something that is a reminder to say we've got to cover this. This is something that we've got to address as we are getting very super hyper focused and very crystal clear as to what we need to do about how we show up in the world, about how we're going about getting things and manifesting things in the 3D. We have to, again, they want us to really truly understand, to stand in our, we got our second chakra, which is in our sacral, which is again how we're manifesting. I told you about the manifestation of things in the 3D. Well, so it's making those connections. I talked about that earlier, about friendships. You'll find some kind of way where you're doing a lot of connecting with friends. People are coming in and, you know, just saying hi, how you doing. There's that system I told you about through the systems and our connections, like what you're grounding and rooting, and how through those systematic things of they're showing me like nerves, and how one is connected to another, such as people, is also helping us to be able, through the networking, thank you, it's like a networking system, and through them kind of lighting up these different friends and connections that you have with people, it's going to help you to be able to manifest. It's also through these connections, it's going to help you to understand, as far as they showing me like a map, where your location is, where you are as far as on the journey of life. So kind of pay attention to your connections to these different people, because that's going to help you to be able to manifest. You might even find yourself using people to help you to manifest your business or your mission, or you might even again finding someone, again, if it's the love, or somebody maybe talk to you and tell you about, again, staying on the path as far as with your divine person, whichever way that it can be. Because I feel like, to me, with some of you all, you're kind of in betweenish again, and some of you all is like, you know what, you're getting a call of, again, to explore outside of the connection, and some of you all, again, is like, no, I'm gonna explore myself so I can be ready for the twin flame connection. So again, those things, learning how you're loving your friends, how you're interacting with your friends, is also going to be able to help you to manifest this new love, because they keep on saying this new love is coming. Okay, rather it's in your personal life, how they're going to start showing up. Or again, I have to be open minded to all the people that say, again, you know, because I get people to write me and say, you know, I'm with it, but it's hurting me to stay in this. It's not coming together like I would. So again, not to trigger anyone, but I gotta, as the kids say, facts. I have to keep it open and real that there are some people that might be even thinking about that, a soulmate, or they might not even know that. Right now you're looking for, again, what's going to help you heal, and what's going to help you, again, to really truly be able to experience love in the way that you feel that is unconditional and that is reflecting you back to love that you're putting out there. So I'm not saying for anybody to drop it. It's wherever, whoever is listening to it, I'm speaking to you and you say, yeah, that's where I'm at, then that's where we're going with. And if you're saying you're on the other side of it and you're saying no, that's fine too as well. It's very hard. You have to remember, as a person who's on YouTube, you're trying to, again, to grab all of your audience, and to also, again, not to appease, but you want to be able to fit everybody's needs as far as where they are on the walk of life. And again, my thing is, I am for team love. So it doesn't matter about as far as which way that you're going on the journey, or you're saying, I'm going to go explore and find some more things about myself so I could be able to bring it back to the connection, because that's where it all goes together. Is that at the end of the day, that's what it's doing, is, again, bringing that lessons and what you've explored back to yourself, because your counterpart is yourself as well, and how, again, that could make your soul expansion and your soul growth too as well. Thinking woman. So again, you got thinking man and thinking woman. So again, in your divine divine feminine energies, it's about getting more into your heart space. It's about getting more in tune with your heart and getting more knowledge. And I think, again, by these experiences that you're having in the 3D, the experiences that you have as far as you sitting, when I think about how I got a book, reading some more, getting more knowledge, meditating more, seeing about what other things that help you to gain more understanding of self. This is going to help you, again, to create this transformation. This is also, again, going to help you to start to ascend. So that's interesting that we got the thinking man and the thinking woman. Now, I just talked about the yin and the yang, which is, again, going to create that balance within you as well. And so again, and this goes also, I see pillars there. So your foundations, how are you going to be able to ascend? So this is where Spirit wants you, and I see the number 47 there, to be grounded. And this is, again, this is a leveling. So again, grounded. 7 means spiritual completion in your spirit. And so you can have the number 11, which is, again, have that balance. So you want to start all over again, but you want to be balanced. And again, that's what I'm saying about the Sagittarius full moon, is bringing to us that understanding of where we want to explore. But again, there's that push to say, I want to go on ahead and go on with my mission, or what my true purpose is, or really truly what my lessons of love is. Because again, we got here the world card, getting rid of the illusions. I talked about that earlier, about these illusions here. Again, over exaggerating things. Am I really truly seeing what's going on in the world for what it is? Because I see this person walking to the end of the dock of the bay, again, to the end of the dock, and I call it the dock of the bay. Really understanding that BAE stands for BAE. I said it wrong the last time, which is looking for anything beyond anyone else. I have to remind me that again. You're getting to that point where you want things, and it's not depending on anyone else. It's not depending on the person, place, or thing. It's because, again, you have truly evolved. And there's been some things going on, like I said, beyond the shadows of you being working and interacting, whether it's the job, working with people, working with your family. Those, again, 3D elements are helping you to become like this lotus I'm seeing here in there, which is, again, you're growing in darkness and you don't know what's going on, but you know you're getting ready to actually full bloom. And this is where you are. And I think that's why I say we got this period in here. I call it we're in the void. We don't see too much going on. We don't know what's going on with our counterpart. We don't know anything. And my thing is, I always say, don't move until you see it. Don't move until you see it with your heart. Don't move until you see it maybe as you seeing some clues or manifestations for you to do that. I'm seeing home talk. Because you don't actually know what is actually going on. You don't have the finger on the pulse. And so when you're in that, like, I don't know, you know, you're finding yourself again. You need to kind of pull back and don't make any kind of decisions, because like I said, I think right now things are being over exaggerated. And so, you know, if you're feeling that you're at that point, like, I'm, you know, to quit the job, I'm ready to say deuces, I would say kind of like wait a little bit, because you got a lot of elements that's going on. And to me, I'm getting the number June 24th. They keep on saying that, where things are really going to be really good. So right now you can start prepping and getting ready for the mission stuff, but I wouldn't be making any kind of major decisions or major moves until then, unless you just really feel like, no, the time is now and you have gotten that signal. I would actually do that. So we got the number 29 here too, again, which is again coming into unity and in cycles, and together it's making the number 11. So this again is a symbol of 1111. But to me, when I see it breaks down the numbers to make the whole master number, that lets me know there's some steps, there's some processes to it. It's not going to, you're not going to get straight to it right then and there. There's actually a process. There's actual multi steps before you get to 11. There's also multi steps in the feminine energies, and there's also multi steps that you got to do in the masculine energies too, in order to actually get that union. So that's something that you have to remember. What is the next thing the spirit wants us to know? I don't think I need to clarify it. Clear. What else does it want you to know about this? What's going on with this Sagittarius moon? They say this is a strawberry moon. Okay. Yeah. It's going to be kind of reddish. Kind of the hue. Understand? Right. No. To me, it's like, again, this is different. Instead of saying, yo, yes is yes, understand, your no. To me, again, in the sacral, to again knowing to say no about if it's not really going to manifest something. Like I told you, I had to stop myself to really get grounded and say step by step by step, to really see it through. Have this idea, but then sit there and visualize and see it all the way through, to see, do you see some of the kinks in it? Do you see something like, oh, if I keep on going like that, it's going to end like this? It's some movie or something that's coming up, and they were talking about the different endings to things. Oh, Mom was watching, I say it was written in the stars or something about the young man that had to die, and he had something with the brain, but he had to have the lung as a transplant, and they gave it to the other young man. But when they started out the movie, it ended with him, started out the movie, ended with his life, him being alive, and he's like, no, this is what really happened. And it showed it actually him, you know, dying and giving the, I hope it's not a spoiler alert to anybody, and actually giving his lungs over to another gentleman that needed it because he has something, a condition as well. I didn't watch, I just seen it at the end. Mom showed it to me. But see, that's what I'm talking about. Like really seeing it out like, okay, it could be this. Now, is this exaggeration? But could it actually end up being like this? You know, and this is what it is. So you could really say, some of you might be finding yourself saying, no. Can't sign up for that. You know, I can't sign up for that. You know, it sounded good at the beginning, but I don't know if I can kind of keep up that momentum of, I don't know if I stay with this in this relationship. You know, how about I say, okay, I'll stick with, you know, as you all call it, the karmic, the person who's giving me the hard lesson so I can really truly know what love is. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. Okay, so you got that person right there, and that person comes, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna stick in it because maybe they can't show me love. Forget the other person. Forget the twin. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this, and then you sit there and you're like, okay, no, it ain't gonna work. I don't care how I kind of flub this around and say maybe we move in and try again. I already know how this story is going to see conflict already. I already know how this story is going to end. So it's a no. We have here return to nature. Hey. Kids. Okay. Return to nature. Again, they want you to, again, go on with the flow. Okay. Getting in touch with your emotions because I see water there. And really getting back to who you naturally are. That's what I told you about the Sagittarius. And watching that you're not being gregarious, like overly doing things, over exaggerating, making things bigger as what it is, making sure that you are showing up as who you are. I think, to me, I've been thinking about astrology, and I have been, you know, you got your rising and you got your actually sun sign. And I remember someone telling me that astrology said, you know, your ascendant sign is how you show up in the world. So my eyes is a Cancer, okay, but my sun sign is in Aries. So I've got to learn through moving and working with my emotions, which would be my moon sign, which would be Capricorn, and working with how I'm actually showing up in the world as a Cancer. I've got to work with those two to move me into actually being Aries energies, really truly being independent, those things. And so that's the same thing I would say there too as well, you know, working with your energies of who you are. Where is it that you actually strive to be? Where is it that you actually want to show up? Where has you been lying or not being very truthful and using integrity as far as how you show up in the world? Some of us got to truly go back into nature. Okay, go into nature, being one with that. It's getting warmer out now, going by the water, going by, I was about to say the lake. Well, here in Chicago we have the lake. You know, putting our feet, taking our shoes off, putting our feet in the grass, becoming one with that, with the energies, listening to water sounds. Because I was just interested. I've been listening to a lot of subliminal messages. And I was like, well, every time I listen, they got water. You know, especially when they talk about like forgiveness or surrender. It's water signs they're using there. It's like, okay, going with the flow. You know, subliminal, they're just letting you like make like water. So, you know, that's what they're saying again. And some of us, again, that water represents surrendering. We got to just surrender to the nature of things, how things naturally show up, and not force our own will onto it. And that's where we are right now. Especially, like I said, if you can't move, don't see it, that means you have to actually surrender and trust that source is moving and working things out for you. Also, they really want us to actually move into very strongly speaking your truth, really getting in touch with your third eye. To me, speaking your truth means really visualizing and actually seeing as far as how your third eye is showing the vision, and how you're also speaking it into truth, which means speaking it actually into existence. That's why I said, sit there and really become one and meditate on this very thing that you want to. See it step by step all the way through. Every little people involved, every little person was saying, the place, the location, how you feel, how other people feel, you know, and how it feels and resonates in your body. Get all of those pieces involved with that to really truly see, okay, is this going to work? You know, how does it feel? Do I feel really light when I think about this process towards the end? Or am I feeling panicky? Am I tensing up in my stomach? Am I tensing up in my shoulders? Then maybe this is not the right way to go, and I need to maybe get to myself to say it's a no. You know, what if I'm visualizing myself with my twin at this moment where things are there? Can I actually see it happening? Can I put all the moving pieces in, like the person, place, a thing, feelings, everything like that? If not, then hey, it's something again, and I know I want to do that. In order for me to get to a hellified yes to it, I got to go back to the drawing board, which means I got to work on myself, okay? Or if it's the opposite and you're like, hey, I went to the drawing board, it's still not working out, I think maybe some other things that I could work out and find out by other connections, then do that too as well, okay? But you got to speak your truth. Again, some of us are not being truthful about where we are, because some of we got shades on, you know. Again, and it could be two ways. Our future's so bright we got to wear shades, or we've been throwing a lot of shade on ourselves and not really trying to really see. You know, like I said, you at the club at the end, and I remember they used to have a joke, you know, you think, oh, that person fine. As soon as the lights come on in the club, you're like, oh my God, that's who I was dancing with. So some of us been dancing in the club with some people or the situation, and you're like, oh yeah, this looking good, child. Oh, he fine. As soon as them lights come on, they talk about, okay, y'all ain't got to, you ain't got to leave, you ain't got to go home, but you got to leave here. And the lights come on, you're like, oh, so that's what I've been dealing with. That's the situation I'm in. This is the job I'm at. The lights is on now. I'm seeing every flaw, no. Okay, let me think again on that. So that's where we have to be on that one. Let me see if there's any other advice the Spirit wants to give us. Clear. A lot of conflict. Okay, pumps. Okay, pumpkins. Okay. All right, pumpkin. All right. Okay. Hangman. That's why I say we suspended. Now, and when you get the hangman there, Spirit wants us to understand that again, you're suspended. Everything is suspended. Suspended. You're suspended right now. Don't mean you ain't lost the job. Don't mean you put off the right. You just suspended, which means you come back. Suspending, most of the time they give you that something about you going in the wrong direction, or something they want you to kind of stop and kind of think about your actions, thinking about what you're doing on the job, and then you'll come back on there. So again, suspension also, again, this helps you to look at it from a different view, a different perspective. You got 12. So things could truly, 12 means divine order. So you can get everything in truly definite order. She doesn't look like she's in no pain in this one. So in our spirit understanding, to me when I look at this, Spirit wants us to understand, your spirit understand, or the divine feminine within you understands that this is needed. It understands why there is like less communication, or there's no communication between you and the twin. It understands why all of a sudden it just looks like it's like a void that's happening on you, as far as you getting forward movement on this dream or this mission, or you getting this house or whatever that it is. There is that point of that because it's needed, because it wants you, number one, is saying to me, so you can become relaxed in it. Number two, it wants you to be able in your relaxation to take another viewpoint. I remember the other day, I just shut things down and I just went and sat in my, for one day, I think it was Sunday, and I became I just didn't do anything. I kind of moseyed around the house. And Mom was like, you okay? She said, no, you just go in the head and rest. and I was like, I didn't get up until about 3. I just kind of, it was just like, I like listen to things on YouTube. I like the inspirational things. I start reading things, doing that thing. And the next day I was inspired to say, I'm going to start this. I want to start this mission. I want to go back and revisit. Sometimes you've got to press pause on things and really sit there and relax and marinate and ruminate on some things in a positive way about yourself and that self-love, and give you that thing to vegetate and Netflix or whatever it is that you got to take that time out so you can be able to reset, and then let your whole system, your body, your mind, everything, and say, okay, now I'm ready, so things could go back to flowing again. Because you got the Two of Wands. There's some actions that's got to be taken. A lot of you all have been, again, this to me looks like explorer. Again, you kind of looking on the map like, I want to do this. It's got a little Volkswagen van there. Talk about spirit saying that. Like you really want to travel and go to different places. But again, spirit is telling you, I want you to sit and really look at the windows of your soul. Excuse me. And I'm seeing this color orange there to me. Again, what are you manifesting? How are you connecting in the spirit to other things? What's your connections, your soul connections to people, places, and things? Let's kind of look at this. You got the wand, which means one hand you got an action there, but you got another thing that's been just kind of like, it's here leaning on the wall here. And it's, again, you haven't really quite thought about what you actually want to do with the other thing in order to create balance. So to me, the divine feminine says it's actions being taken in our spirit, in our soul. We've got that. But the divine masculine energies, this to me is the other one of balance, which is the cause of the yin and the yang, has not gotten to the point of knowing what to actually do with that. And this is why things are being suspended, because again, you don't actually know what's the next move to do. Now you can leave that open and say that spirit or source is going to step in, and that's where the true magic is to happen about getting things moving into 3D. That too can also happen too as well, because I'm seeing the Hermit here. Okay, and the spirit keeps on telling you all, again, it's about getting with self. It's the self-love. It's the self. So right now, about the getting with the person, is about, and I seen Kurt from All-Star, Twin Flame All-Star, is saying, you know, it's not about getting with the twin flame, you know, wake up to it. And so many, I seen the title, I didn't read it, but I already know, watch it, because I already know where he's going with that. And it's not about that. They're not the destination. We know that. There go another light friend. That's not the destination about that. The thing is again, it's about meeting and getting in touch with and in union with self for some of us right now. And if you're like me, there is some things, there's some components that we know that we've got to turn and get into more divine order on and get this stuff right. So we're asking to be a hermit. Source is saying that so we can get this to me in a higher vantage point, so we can really truly create the magic. Because we see that right now we have ascended in this hermitness, or this mode of being by ourselves. We are really truly getting a good vantage point of really seeing everything as far as over our emotions. Again, being able to go with the flow, to elevate. As to me, it's like I'm rising above. Like Candace Bird said, I rise above all the haters. I rise above everything else. So I can really true up here. The air is fine. It's less people that I have to deal with. And sometimes, again, when you elevate and you go up higher, again, there's not a lot of people up there as well. The higher you go to altitude, the less the people you're going to be connected to as well. You find that out too as well. So again, when you're flying and going up there, you can really have in tune with your own thoughts and your skills and abilities as to where you where you need to go. Okay, let me see what spirit overall advice the spirit has for you. Clear. Oh, he got all these cards came out. It's like, no, You can't. Okay, I'm gonna see what all this. Oh, this. I didn't know it went like this. Okay, this fine. That's a lot. Okay, so again, woo. Woot woot. Woot woot. I wonder what that means. 43. What was that? I don't know what that means. 43. They use it kind of short. So let me see. So spirit, source, your higher self wants you to know, woo woo, it's a party time. Hang the streamers, invite your friends, put on your dancing shoes. There has never been a better time to fist bump everyone you know. Joy to the world, smile till your face hurts. It's about connections. Connecting to other people. Again, then that's when the party is. Because there's going to be things that you're going to find out through those connections. Is something to celebrate about. Okay? Next one, laser beam. Again, bring your attention back to center, back to your attention. Intention. You've been wavering a bit, but all it takes to achieve your desires is a little bit of concentration. Focus on what you want, then focus again for extra laser-like precision and clarity. Relish the sweet feelings of zeroing in on that finish line. Okay? Musing right along. Might as well write your acceptance speech. Your creative mojo is in rare form. Inspired ideas, brilliant schemes, and colossal plans are streaming in from every direction, courtesy of your inner muse. Get out a bucket and drink in the sweet nectar of inventiveness and fun. That's why I said this is bringing on about you again, you got your mojo, your creativity to help you to start on that mission. That's that new love. Entangled. All right, next one. Spirit in your higher self wants you to know a source. Again, once you know entangled, you would probably call what's about to happen synchronicity or maybe even coincidence. Au contraire. The big truth is you are already connected to everything and everyone. Quantum physics has its own name for it, entanglement. The reason it appears that all ducks are lining up on your behalf right now is because you're finally paying attention. Let the games begin. And I told you it's about networking. I said it's a system. All things are also coming together as far as, again, so stay focused so you can be able to make that happen. Magnanimous me. Magnanimous me. 27. Somebody said that's their number. Magnanimous me. This is the time for your true nature. Didn't we come up with that? Where the nature card at? Just talked about it. Return to nature. Didn't I talk about that? Again, to bloom like a crocus in the spring. You are nothing but a big ball of love, and the only thing you really want is to love up on everyone. This is a good time to get in touch with that higher truth and free yourself. Higher truth and free your generous spirit. Kindness, anyone? Talked about that one too. Next one, X-ray vision. So they really want us to be able to really truly get laser focused on some things. But I think he wants us to also look beyond. Ignore everything in your life that suggests there's a problem. Then I talked about that. That's what I talked about when I talked about the world here, the illusions. And it's time to look past the illusory veil of petty struggles. As soon as you take your attention off all that happens wrong, you will begin to notice all sorts of right signs and clues. The universe is throwing buckets of clear guidance your way. See beyond the surface and the superficial. Soak in the deeper meaning. Soak in the refreshing water of truth. Okay? X-rays, that it? And the F word. Last one. The F word, number 30. Like that. Nobody likes the F word, but the dude sees forgiveness through a different pair of glasses. He knows that everything is going to turn out fine in the end, and that holding on to negativity and old wounds, talked about that earlier in my channel message, is just postponing the inevitable. Your success is a done deal. Your bliss is going to happen. The F word is the place to start. Let it go, forgive, forget, and follow the yellow brick road. And that is one thing that, again, I did not use in my channel message, but I'm kind of also saying about me. It's about this forgiveness. The forgiveness of the past, about things that did not happen, that the way in which you thought they should have happened. This is also what we're working with now during this full moon energies. Okay. All right then, with a little longer. Again, I thought I'd be finishing 30, but again, you know, my stuff is always laced with coaching along with channel messages, and then I also tell you about what's going on with me in real life. And so that helps you to understand that you're not out there by yourself or alone, that I too go through the same struggles as well. And again, this is learning on this adventure as far as what we call the twin flame journey. All right then, if you need any help or any guidance as well, using cards like this or any other cards to help you to get a better understanding as to what's the next steps that you should be able to make, like I did and Spirit told us generally. Again, this is a general reading for the collective. Again, you can go to divineunisouls11.co, and if you want help with understanding the different patterns that you have, again, summer, I'll be open as well, because school will be ending this week, and so that if you want to have any kind of seeing about what some of the patterns that you have and you want to know why, you can catch up with me on www.ashantywellnesscenter.com. For that's a whole different business there. The other one's spiritual reading. The other one is about, again, through hypnosis and trying to find out what's the different patterns that you're having, and really seeing subconsciously what it is, and almost like an investigator or detective, just detecting and seeing the patterns that you have. So you could be able to go over there and to book a session through that too as well to see. All right then, as always, and all that stuff is in the description box below. All right there, and I know it's definitely time for me to go. So as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste and Namago. All right, until next time, love you, and I'll be talking to you real soon. All right.